Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Master Division with Various Wind here for the Christmas Market Tournament in Golf Clash and the game. Before we take a closer look at everything, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button if you do enjoy the video. Also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that are looking to improve your game even more, scan the QR code here on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy for our ultimate tournament guides and then exclusive tour shootout guides and also the checkpoint challenge guides. Especially now during the Christmas, it could be wise to spend more time with your family, and your guides will help you cruise easily to the weekend round and spend less time in practice mode. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. So on the drive, I'm gonna start at the top of plus 16, which is the max line for P3 ball. So top of plus 16 is where we start with. We're gonna play with a Luminary or with a Wind 4 power 5 ball, such as the Ryder Couple. I'm gonna talk about that in the end. Yellow ring by the rough line with a poke 8, 10% with the yellow ring inside the rough with a poke 7, and 30% of the yellow ring inside the rough with a poke 5 and 6. Here you can either decide to push or you can pull. The tree there could be in your face if you are unlucky, and that's why I started to pull, then to just double check how it was afterwards there. Pulling just into overpower, so I'm adding teeth of overpower here for this drive. What I would like you to do here is to add overpower based on whatever you adjust into. So if you do adjust 2 rings into overpower, you use 2 rings. If you are playing with an Apocalypse 6, you add whatever you adjust into, and then 1.5 ring extra, and then with Apocalypse level 5, 3 rings extra, and then whatever you adjust into. The reason we are doing more overpower with that is to compensate for the lesser topspin. What we would like to recommend for Apocalypse 5 users, as we're using so much overpower, is the fact that we do want to add just a click of left curl, because the longer we fly, the more we're gonna push to the right, so we need to compensate for that by adding a little bit of left curl. Great right is better than great left here. We're playing on a narrow fairway, and I would say here that Apocalypse 7 and 8 will have single great lefts be no problem, but as the accuracy becomes worse, then obviously Apoc 6s and Apoc 5s will have a problem there. And once again, I do suggest to play with a Wind 4 power 5 ball to reduce the amount of overpower, especially for those of you that do play with Apocalypse level 5 or level 6. For the second shot, we're gonna play rings from Min, and we're gonna do that with a Thorn. The reason we're gonna do that with a Thorn is to simplify the adjustments. So I'm pushing up the amount of rings to get myself to the fringe or just on the green. It doesn't really matter that much, but as if you're around the fringe line here, that's gonna be perfect. Then add backspin to get the ball guideline to go 1 green square through the hole. And if we're gonna favor any side with our pull, we're gonna favor 1201. And here we're playing rings from Min minus 5% power 5 ball settings. I'm using 14 rings. That was the amount of rings that I pushed up. So 14 rings, which is 14% slider, minus 5% elevation, P5 numbers. Bounce on the fringe green right at pin for a beautiful eagle here to start with. If you want to take part of our master guide, the best master guide on the market, or for that matter pro or expert, go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Hole number 4, here we start with a power 1 ball in absolute minimum distance, inner ring by the rough line. Pack the sniper as well to ensure finding the min line easier. 5 backspin and 3 left spin, and what I'm doing is that I'm moving past 5 backspin and then moving back to that ensure that I'm getting all the backspin that is required. Now I'm swapping to a power 0 ball here. And the reason I'm swapping to a power 0 ball here is because if we do have an angle there's more tailwind than this one, then we are going to see ourselves pulling to min club with a power 1. If having this angle though, then you can keep the power 1 ball and that's not going to be any issues. One click of underpower in this angle. This is the most left angle as I observed by loads of testing. Bouncing into the rough, rolls up onto the green and gets into the hole. The good part with a shot like this as well is that it's not coming in with too much speed, so even if you miss the hole, you will see yourself having a nice and simple putt. Adjust this minimum distance, -5% elevation, P2 numbers. Get our guide, the best guides on the market, on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. On the drive we start with the Rockin NMT with a P1 ball, then we're swapping to a POC and cat bag. Here we then decide if we want to play with a P2 Wind 5 or P3, P4, P5. The thing with playing with a P2 is that you can play them with the precision ball, either the new one or the old one. Using the old one will give you a better needle, but using the new one the needle will be very shaky. However though, do you have to play with a P2 ball? No, you can play up to a P5 ball. So if you feel confident with your ability on the second shot to hit perfect, then or at least you hit a lot of perfects, then I would recommend to play with a power 5 ball to slow down the needle as much as you can here on the drive and get yourself a more consistent drive. However though, great left and great right has been safe. And this is also going to be an Apocalypse level 7 plus shot. So a big boy club shot, where obviously an option 2 will be there eventually. On the second shot, this shot looks scarier than what it is actually. We're gonna set our bullseye to be just at the top of +4, just before it gets clipped by the rough. Now we're going to add spin, so we are having the ball guideline to go 1 green square through the hole, and that's going to be used with top spin and also with left spin. The spin will vary, and you will see that we're going to aim for just the first part of the rough above the bunker. Now on the adjust here, we do want to avoid 1201, but we don't either want to go with a massive 1159 either, so we're going to just go with a favor 59 here, and we're going to make an adjustment that from +4 we play max, and with we play 100% slider, and we are going to play -5% elevation P2 numbers, and this one has dropped plenty in practice. And what to be said here as well, like I said, when it comes to the drive, you don't have to play with a precision 2 ball. Obviously the needle on the drive will be very shaky with a P2 ball, but you can play, you can go up and play even a P5 ball if you would like, and then the needle will be super slow. So it's up to you what type of risk you want to take. Like, I like to take a higher risk on the drive, as I do know that I can hit perfect a lot, but also I know that single great left and right has been safe. However though, if you do not feel confident with your ability on the drive, but you feel more confident on the second shot to hit perfect even if you don't have a precision ball, then use a power 5 ball and slow down the needle as much as you can on the drive.
So on the drive, start at the +5 yard mark, but first the spin. 6 top spin, 1 left spin to be more adapted towards a POC 5 and 6 as well. We don't really need much else, because here it's all about getting a consistent drive down the fairway. White ring by the rough line with a POC 8, and we are adjusting max +10 power 4 ball settings. Even if we go into overpower, we shall not use any overpower for a POC 6, 7 and 8. If you do play with Apocalypse level 5, we do recommend to use teeth overpower, which is where you have the bottom of the ball just barely covering the bottom teeth. The goal here is to get the ball to be somewhere around 345 to 355 yards. And depending on, you know, if you hit great left, great right or perfect, you're still gonna be safe, because all of those type of plays has been tested. 352, absolutely
Perfect. Now we are focusing on the B52 or the Grizzly on the second shot. Second shot is going to be difficult. We're going to use the your turn plus yardage, which is +8, as you can see there on the video. So we remember that. One top spin, one right spin. Ball guideline to go one green square through the hole. Very important that you're not too far or too short, because that will all affect the outcome if you do hit perfect. Now you can see in this angle, this is going to be called the headwind angle in the guide, and then we're going to have to add adjustment, or we're going to have to use a curl. So we're going to have the +3 your turn as base, which is going to be 86% slider plus 65% elevation, power 4 ball settings. And here, as we're having headwind angle, I'm going to use 2 clicks of right curl to compensate for that. You can also add 0.1 to the adjustment if you want to compensate with that too. Have in mind that this is king wind, and that's the reason why we're just barely getting that one to drop on the left hand side. But however, this shot has been way more consistent for me than I expected it to be. And unfortunately, with such a crappy wind of tee, it's absolutely impossible to go straight down the middle. And then we're going to have to focus on the right hand side, even though it's going to be a lot of reins to pull. One thing extra as well, you're going to do 2 pulls over bullseye with your B52 or with your Grizzly.
Take your game to the next level with our ultimate tournament text guides for the Christmas market tournament. This is a perfect chance for you to spend more time with your family and friends during Christmas, and let our guides help you to the weekend round and help you to a good position whilst you are spending less time in practice. We do offer for expert and master the vision. For those of you that you want to dabble in tour play and checkpoint challenge, and do a premium guide for that as well. Scan the QR code here on the screen, or use the link in the description down below called patreon.com/golfclashtommy and get yourself to our page and sign up for the package that suits you the best.
Hole number 3, we're gonna go for a rough bump, and we're gonna use 3 right spin and 3 back spins. So everything is very simple to set up. Now we're gonna start at the bottom of +14. So we're gonna go into the rough and move slowly up to +14, having the ball guideline to go through the hole. Now we're gonna play max +10 power 2 ball settings, and when we are setting this one up here, it is very important to take a look at the wind angle. In this angle here, we're not going to use any type of curl whatsoever. We're just gonna center the ball and then hit perfect. Perfect ball, and we bounce nicely into the rough, and then it rolls beautifully to be, unfortunately, just right side of the, not unfortunately, drops, but a little bit heavy on that pull. Obviously, this is not going to be a gimme, no matter what way you're playing here, but the rough bump here with the wind angle tweaks that we're gonna have in the guide is definitely going to offer you a very good chance of an hole-in-one. Get the guides for Master, Pro, or Expert on patreon.com/golfclashtommy.
Option number 1, hole number 6. Here we're starting at max P1 line, half of the fourth ring to the left inside the rough. Max topspin 1 left spin, then swapping to a P2, P3, P4, P5 ball, doesn't matter, just that it has wind 5. Obviously, if you want to play with a precision ball, you're going to have to play with a P2 ball, then the needle will be slightly shaky off tee. Playing with a P3 ball or P4, P5 ball, it would more or less be a very nice and slow needle. Perfect ball is to prefer, a great right is to prefer over a great left. This as we want to be not further away from pin, especially if you're playing with a P2 ball. If you're playing with a P3, P4, P5 ball, then hitting a great left is not really any type of worries whatsoever, because you will have the extra distance at all. The drive is super consistent up to around 440 yards.
On the second shot, if you play with a power 2 ball, you get yourself up to max, where you're having the ball guideline to go over the hole from this angle. When it comes to playing with a ball that is not power 2, let's say power 3, power 4, power 5, then you put yourself at the top of +8 and find yourself in that position as explained. Now 3.8 topspin and half a bar of right spin is what we're adding. Now you can see that we're offsetting heavily to the right. That's why it is important to find the ball guideline through the hole like that before spin, so we can have a consistent result here in the end. What I'm looking for is, for my adjustment, I'm adjusting max +5 P2 numbers, right? So from max P2 line, I adjust 100% slider plus 5% elevation P2 numbers, and that's something that you will have to have in mind if you play with a different ball, that you are using that as a reference from +8, and then we're adding or subtracting 0.1 from there. But as a drive is very solid, it's more or less always going to be at +8. Get our guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy.
Alright, start with whatever power 5 ball you may want to start with. I would suggest the reef ball, because we don't want to have any side spin whatsoever, and then the reef does not have any side spin, but it does have the power 5. 5.8 backspin, which is 2 clicks away from 6 bars, and once we have done that, we change to whatever wind 5 ball we want to use. We can play power 0 up to power 5, doesn't matter, you can play with whatever. This is what we will have in the guide as the no curl angle. This is the red line, as we would like to call it. So it's no curl in this angle. We are adjusting 1 to 1 plus 1. So here we play 8.9 reins for 7.9 miles per hour. Center ball, hit perfect. And we are going to have very good chance here to drop and hole in one. The reason I'm not playing a rough bump is because I experienced several glitch rolls, and I'm not going to take that risk, especially when we do have such a good shot like this one here for you all. Get the guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy.
For hole number 7, the drive, we're going to start at max with red ring by the rough line with the rock, 11.9. Then we're swapping to a pock and sniper bag, adding spins, which is 5.2 top spin and half a left spin. Here, as you can see, +8, +11 is max P2 line, so here you could swap to a precision 2 ball if you would like. You don't have to, but if you like. Adjust is max +10 P3. And then center the ball and hit perfect. The goal here is to get the drive consistently up to 340 yards, approximately like that, so we can play into the massive funnel. And you can see here that a great left is definitely not something that we would recommend, whereas a great right is super safe. 340 is, again, very consistent for the drive. On the second shot, we're gonna do a top of the blue ring check by the bunker. You can see here now that I'm moving up to have the blue ring, and then I want the top of blue ring to be aligned there with the pin. Now, I'm looking to have top of the yellow ring to be by the rough line, with the right side of the white ring to be by the rough line in between the two rough patches. From there, I'm then just applying whatever spin, which is top spin and right spin, to get the ball guideline to go 1 green square through the hole. And you can see here that I'm favoring right side of the pin as well. Now, adjustment, we do want to favor 11.59 on our pull, so whatever 59 this is for you, that's the one that you're going to try to replicate. For some, that might be a heavier 59 than what it is to my eyes, but I would say favor 59 here. Adjustment from +7 bunker check is 100% slider, minus 10% elevation, P3 numbers. Bounce on the rough over the bunker and then right that pin. And what is not shown here on the video is that we're playing into a massive funnel. I mean truly massive, like almost like a ring and 2 wide. But to be consistent, I wanted to do that with my landing spot, so I can always replicate that in the best possible way. The only tough part is that the spin will vary every single time. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. I must say that I got super excited here because this is the same win that I got my Condor a while back, but I remade the play just slightly to be a little bit more easier to find the landing spot. So we're playing an NMT, max plus 10 P5, and then we're gonna push up rings here. For Apocalypse level 8 per default, we're gonna push up 13 rings. If we do have more crosswind, we're gonna push up a little bit more. Obviously, all of that will be displayed in the guide. Apoc 7, 13 rings, and then Apoc 6 shall also be 13 rings. Apoc 5 should be 13.5 rings. And the reason for that is that we do want to push up a little bit more with Apoc 5 and 6 due to the lesser topspin. Using the Thor ball with max topspin and 2 right spin, the goal is to bounce on the fairway and over to the other fairway just left of that rough patch. And you can see there that I did hit a great left, and a perfect and a great right will be better here. Obviously there is a risk of with bad drives not get the ball to green, but you know, it's gonna be, I played this shot loads the last time, and I played this shot enough here now to know that it's gonna be more times on green or just before the green, if anything. So we're gonna take a look at the second shot as well, but just to have that said, we're gonna go with inside wall right curl, and it's gonna be a max overpowered shot with a slower needle. Obviously the higher wind is to recommend due to the fact that we do have a slower needle than we do have with lower wind. So here on the approach, you can see me unfortunately underpower my my wedge here. This is a replay glitch, so you can't see that this is the max distance of Endbringer. I played 68% slider plus 25% elevation. However though, I would recommend to play plus 30 due to the underpower that I'm using on this shot. No spin, and then I just center the ball and hit perfect, and you're gonna have a very good chance to have this as a very nice backup play, because if it happens that you do get dead bounces of your drive, or it happens that you might misjudge the push up, then obviously it's gonna be much nice to have this type of Endbringer dialed in to make yourself feel comfortable with a different outcome of the drive. So on Albatross here, we'll play plus 30, I play plus 25 in the video, but play plus 30 due to the fact that I'm underpowered my shot. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough with various wins for Master Division for the Christmas Market Tournament here in Golf Clash the Game. Celebrate Christmas together with our guides for the Christmas Market Tournament. Spend your time with family instead of sitting there in the practice mode. Use our guides, get yourself easily to the weekend round and fight for the good position. Scan the QR code on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy via the link in the description down below.